Time is the one thing we can't step around. Father Time is undefeated.
Time is too precious. Don't let it slip away. Respect the foundation and the price they had to pay. Stop wasting your minutes on the wrong things. Just enjoy the dance and the joy that it brings. Respect the culture. Keep the legacy high. Give them their roses before they say goodbye. Before they say goodbye.
The wood feels heavier each time a legend moves on. The sets don't sound the same when the architects are gone. We lost many greats with the original spark. The ones who lit the way when the culture was dark. They gave us the dance and the city was blessed. They gave us the rhythm. They gave us the best. The East is quiet, the 50 is changed, but the dance they left us will remain the same. Every pivot, every slide, every soulful connection is a gift from a pioneer reaching for perfection. They're dancing in the spirit now, watching the floor, hoping we don't lose the heart of what it was created for.
Time is too precious. Don't let it slip away. Respect the foundation and the price they had to pay. Stop wasting your minutes on the wrong kind of things. Just enjoy the dance and the joy that it brings. Respect the culture. Keep the legacy high. Give them their roses before they say goodbye. Before they say goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of its host, Urban Arts Enterprises, advertisers, or affiliates, and are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entity they represent. The information in this podcast is for educational purposes only and does not constitute legal or medical advice. What's up, what's up, what's up, y'all? You know what it is. It's that time. Again, as usual, we are in the building, y'all. It's your boy, Brian Forbes. We are live inside Steppin every single Tuesday, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, for those of you who don't know. Because, I got my West Coast family out there. They be coming through. They be kicking it with your boy, you dig. Kim Dillon, how you doing? Kenneth Wynn in the building. Karen Nichols, how you doing? Linda Sanders, I see you. Irene Harrison, all in the house. What's up, y'all? Hey, listen, tonight, y'all, we got a great interview coming up. And I have to apologize because I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball this evening. I shouldn't be, but that's what happens sometimes when you're not paying attention. So I got a little glitch. Is it still talk? Okay, tell him to go through the prompts, to join, like what we did earlier. Yeah, y'all, I had a little bit of a delay, which I shouldn't have. That's my fault. I'm generally on point with my stuff because I got him. Tell him, okay. Yeah, he's entering now. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, y'all, making sure that we got everything, all our little ducks in a row, making sure we on point around here. You know what I'm saying? Getting everything in order. Dennis Howard Hodges, Pastor D in the building. Hey, Pastor D, I got to call you, man. We need to chop it up right quick. I got something I want to run by you. Walida Lee, how are you? Teresa Williams in the building. Norma Watkins, what's up, Normal? I ain't seen you in a while. Deborah Edwards in the building. Valeria Connor. Hey, Valeria. Miss you, girl. That's my girl right there, y'all. So, y'all, tonight, we are fortunate. We are so blessed. We're going to have what I will refer to, and some people, they're a little funny, and I'm not saying that this man is funny about it, but, some people don't like necessarily to be aligned with particular monikers. It's kind of like me, I don't like it when people say stuff like, Poppy and I are celebrities and that kind of thing. And we've had it happen. And I don't particularly care for that sort of thing, because the reason why we do Inside Steppin is it's a whole different ball game than that for us, because it's about y'all. But this man, in my best estimation, is what we could absolutely consider a living legend. And we are about to get an education. Pastor D, you're gonna love this, because this is your era. we're going to explore some history of Steppin culture, and we're going to give some. I'm hoping that we're going to gain some insight, myself included, as to what it was like prior to the era that we've come into, and even before the era that I came into, and get some real like meat on the bone about this dance, and hopefully it'll help somebody to advance their understanding and knowledge. Because you know, the dance is one thing. It's cool to be able to take the steps, but it's even better when we can actually have something to attach it to. You know, it's like you get the full meal and not just the sides. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get the full meal tonight, y'all. Phyllis Brown, how you doing? I see you. We're gonna do that tonight. So, y'all, it was something else I wanted to tell everybody, but it's slipping my mind. Oh yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. Anyway, y'all, with no further ado, I am going to bring this gentleman in and let you guys, because we're gonna get right down to it, and we ain't gonna play no games with it tonight. Let's get with the program, y'all. Welcome, please, if you would, Mr. Buford Finley, you guys. Buford, man, Mr. Finley, Buford, Mr. Finley, Mr. Finley, Buford, man, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for coming in. How are you this evening?
Great. It's my pleasure for being able to make this show.
Well, you know, I'm always excited when I have an opportunity to get, you know, I'm about substance. You know, I'm about forget all the fluff, forget all of the unnecessary crap that comes, unfortunately, with a lot of these people who come into this dance. They bring so much of their baggage. You know, this is about the meat and potatoes tonight. You know what I mean? And so I'm happy that I'm able to have, you know, someone such as yourself to come on here. There's nothing better for me, when we have people, because, you know, one of the things that's gone on for years around this community is you have a lot of people that do a lot of talking, and they, well, this happened and that happened, and a lot of it is secondhand information, sometimes third-hand information. And I love it when we have the opportunity to have people who literally were there in the building, not some secondhand story. And we can safely say that you are absolutely one of those people that have been in the building for a very long time. And because we're losing so many of our dancers, and people are going on to the ancestors, and even those who just really have fallen off and fallen away from the dance for physical reasons, just for mental reasons, whatever, you know, just the psychological part of it. You know, there's some people like yourself who are still here, and I, for one, appreciate the fact that you are and willing to convey the information that we're going to get tonight. So let me begin by asking you, sir.
Okay.
Tell us what it was like when you first began your journey dancing, and in a environment where it became a part of our life and culture. What was that like? Give us a sort of a timeline in terms of year, so people can really grasp how this thing really got kicked off.
Okay. First of all, let me just say this, how I got into this. It was all about the dress code, because
Man.
at our age at the time, we were too young, but if we learn how to fit in by the dress code, and every now and then maybe a fake ID, we could get in.
You say every now and then.
Every now and then, you know, when they get to know you and you know how to carry yourself like a grown up, you dress the part, they didn't trip. But that was the key to us getting in, with the dress code. And
Okay.
all this, for me, I want to say, I started this, I want to say maybe 1960, 61. It started after school in what we call social center. Okay.
Okay.
It was designed for because our parents had to work. They had 5, 6, 7 kids. You had to work. and so they needed a babysitter after school, even though we were, 12, 13.
Right.
So in my neighborhood, we had social center. Now in social center, which was ran by a guy named Mr. Gray,
Now, what neighborhood was that?
I grew up on Chicago's west side
Okay, there you go.
in an area we call the Village,
Okay.
and it's about like 14th and Troop Street.
Uh-huh.
I went to Medill School directly across the street from where I lived.
Okay.
Anyway, that's where it all started. Mr. Gray would play music in social center, and the boys wanted to slow dance, but Mr. Gray wasn't going. He wasn't having that.
He wasn't going.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't having that. So he'd say, "Hey, y'all got to move around the room because ain't no babies gonna be made here."
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying? And that's basically kind of where I learned how to walk, where I started. I had
Okay.
never seen walking before, but he forced us to go around the room, and all we wanted to do was hold a girl anyway, so it wasn't no problem.
Got
And
it.
that's where it all started for me. And I'm talking 1960, 61.
Okay.
So this dance that we do, especially walking, it actually started in the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
It started in the 50s, the original version of the walk, the foundation of the dance, started in the 50s during the doo-wop era. That's
Right.
where it came from. We got two different versions of what we call the walk.
Okay.
The first version, like I say, was created during the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
As the evolution of the music took place from doo-wop to what we call the teenage love ballad era. Some people call it relationship music. That's what we created what we call the single step version of the same dance.
Okay.
Now, what has happened over time is we've lost young people to the dance. And so the dance took a hit. I want to say 1970 took a hit. We lost young people to rap, hip hop, and that sort of thing. But before 1970, all we had was R&B, soul, jazz, and blues. That was it. And if you were a dancer, you was going to dance to one of those.
Right.
We didn't have options. That's why my group from the 60s and the 70s learned how to do what they do because the music dictated it. That's where it all came from. That's how it started.
Okay. Dig that.
Yeah.
So you began as part of what could be really considered the foundational era of the dances that have now become popularized.
Absolutely, the foundation for the world, the art of Chicago style walking, like I say, was created by what we call the doo-wop era, and that happened in the 1950s.
Right.
Okay.
I have one of
It's
my
the foundation of the dance.
one of the people here on the feed wants to know, Kathleen Rose Davis, how are you this evening? Thank you for chiming in. She says, is walking related to the stroll?
No,
Okay.
no. Walking is its own thing.
And see, that's one of the things that I've come to recognize about our Steppers community and the walking and bop is that although it has, of course it's a dance, but for the most part, these things really did originate in our city and in our culture and our neighborhoods. And so that's
Absolutely.
one of the reasons why it has a certain uniqueness to it. And it doesn't carry over to so many other dances. A lot of people think that a lot of what we do have origins, like really serious origins, like it was a spinoff of something else. But a lot of it was really just kind of formulated right there on the fly.
Well, walking was.
Okay.
Steppin or the bop is a different
Bop.
story.
Right, because it's got origins they go back even further, right?
1920s, Lindy Hop.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
But anyway, the foundation for the art of Chicago style walking is called the skip. Some people call it the two-step
Okay.
walk. And the reason they do that is because of the count. Now, you got people teaching these classes counting all kind of ways. But listen,
Yeah.
it's called the skip. And here's
Okay.
why. This is what people get confused. It's 1, 2. This is the count. 1, 2, pause, and go. That go you don't count. That's why they
Okay.
call it skip.
Got you.
Okay. That's why they call it the skip. So the
Okay.
count is 1, 2, slight pause, and go. And do the same thing on the other leg. It ain't rocket science, trust me. If you
Well, you
listen,
know, you got people that try to make it into
no,
rocket
no,
science.
no.
They try to make it as complicated as possible so they can you know, pick them folks' pockets. You know what I'm talking about?
But check this out. If you listen to the music
Mm-hmm.
and do what the music's telling you to do, and you'll better understand the dance. So if you get used to listening to the doo-wop music,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be like, oh, this is what walking is all about.
Ah,
It's gonna click, trust me.
okay. So in
And then,
other words, if you were to listen, like you said, because I can remember
uh-huh,
myself at some portion of my life where like some of that, you know, this 50s music, the doo-wop, the, you know, the street corner
yeah,
doo-wop
right. There you
types,
go.
I was very much a part, you know, in that mindset of listening to it. And I
Yeah.
can definitely see where you're coming from when you say that, because now it kind of makes sense to me
Uh-huh.
what you're saying, because you get in that groove and
That's what I'm
that
talking about.
tempo, you know.
That's right.
But most people don't really listen to music like that though.
And that's the problem.
There you go. And so even for me, because I find people like yourself, and there have been others who have said certain things to me, and it made something click, and it triggered something that made me understand why, you know, we are doing some of the things we doing and how it connects, and it brings
right.
those dots together. So, okay, that makes sense. So if a person were to take the time and really just kind of listen to the music, it would help them in timing. Would that be
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. It helped
Yeah.
everything. See, because
Okay.
here's the problem we got. Let me explain. This is the problem we have. DJs don't know the music, and the dancers don't know the music
Mm,
as it relates to Chicago style walking, because we got
right.
two versions of the walk. Certain records you play, people are going they're not going to understand it because they don't know the music. They used to
Mhm.
single step walking. Some music requires the skip.
Mm,
We got two versions for a reason.
mhm.
And so the DJs don't know that. The dancers don't know that because nobody's teaching them that.
Now, would the skip be considered for a higher tempo in
No.
the music? No.
Yeah,
Okay.
but let me tell you what the difference is. It's not a higher tempo, but
Okay.
it's constant move.
Okay.
It's constant.
Right.
It's
So there's no stop, no hesitation, but
there
a
you
constant
go.
flow.
There you go.
Okay. I
Constant
got
flow.
you.
And that's why old school dancers still do the skip
Got you.
because
Okay.
it's a constant flow.
That makes sense. And
Yeah.
see, like now, and one of the things, like for me, and you know, this is my education in walking has
Mhm.
been more or less in the last probably, I can't even say 20 years, but somewhere
Yeah.
in there. And the reason I say that is because one of the things that a lot of people don't recognize, and something that we don't talk about, because
Mhm.
there's only a handful of people who actually have the knowledge to even speak on it.
It's
But
true.
most steppers, and I'm talking about from my era,
Yeah.
and those who were a little bit before me, we didn't walk.
Right.
And that's the thing that gets lost on a lot of people, and they think that this thing kind of flowed all together, and it didn't. That's
No,
not how this
right.
got to where it is today. And
That's
so
right.
we were slow dancers.
Right.
We stepped, but you know, most of the guys we would, you know, would be out. We'd go out. We was trying to get a slow dance in with a girl, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
it wasn't no walking involved.
Right.
Walking, I got my education, my beginnings in walking in the mid 80s when I had just gotten to be old enough to legally get in the club without the fake ID and without the, you know,
Yeah,
knowing
yeah.
somebody. You did.
Right.
So I would go to places like the Other Place, and man, listen, I can't express enough to the people watching this show. When I tell you them men back then, some of the smoothest, coolest walking folks you ever seen in your life. And I'm talking about they was elderly then.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm talking about was smooth, man. And I used to just sit there. And I mean, I was a stepper, you know, and that was when, you know, stepping had already, because around the early 80s and the early 80s is when stepping kind of took a turn where it became more coupled man, woman. Now we ain't talking about the bop. We talking about where stepping went from sort of a battle dance to
Yeah.
becoming more of a dance between a man and woman. You know, that 3 minute love thing, you dig, and then the walking became a part of that because the younger heads was watching the older cats walking and looking how cool it was, and it started to become more popular, but it still didn't even catch on then like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So it's like to get the knowledge now and for it to be where it is now, I'm actually amazed by it. I'm amazed by all of it, to be honest with you, but I'm enjoying it thoroughly. And
Yeah.
you know, thanks to cats like you, you know, we get an opportunity to really get the knowledge about what it is, why it is, where it came from.
Yeah.
Now, going back to what you were saying about the skip part of the dance. Now,
Right.
one of the things that I personally would like to see
Yeah.
is the parts where, because a lot of the walking that we see now is done to lower beat per minute music. But I know for a fact that there are walkers who walk to higher beat per minute music, and man, it is
Listen.
amazing to watch.
We used to walk to jazz, blues.
I wanna
whatever
see
they
some more of
played.
that.
Whatever they played.
Yeah.
You know, hey, we the DJs didn't give us a choice. We had to learn how to dance. Today, you don't have to learn how to dance. You can get a dance whether you can, as a guy, you can get a dance whether you can dance or not.
Yeah, that's true. The days of men not getting dances because they can't dance have kind of gone
Let me tell you
by the
something.
wayside.
See, when you're teenagers, the girl have a choice. We was teenagers.
Right.
I mean, we was young, so they got a choice. They don't have to dance with you. If they don't like the way you comb your hair,
Yeah.
the way you dress, that you know how I was as a teenager.
Yeah.
So you had to
Times
be-
have definitely changed.
You had to be on the cool side to get a dance. It's that simple.
Yeah. So moving forward,
Yeah.
you talk about the one step walk and
Two-step.
I'm sorry, 2-step walk and skip. What do you think? How do you feel now about? And I don't want to skip too far into the future, you know, but what are your thoughts on how it has evolved over the years? And could you give us a sort of a timeline of from that period where you were a teenager moving forward and what it looked like as it evolved from then to now?
First of all, let me just say this. The status of the dance floor in Chicago, it is a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Here's why. Here's why. DJ will play, and he had to announce it. Walker's coming up. They didn't have to do that in the past because we grew through that era, and we knew what walk music was. Okay. But now the DJ has to make an announcement. People hit the floor, and half the people, 3/4 of the people can't walk at all.
Well, that's because they don't know the music too.
No. Because they don't know the dance first.
Well, no. What I mean is when you say about the DJs announcing it, is because no matter if you could dance, it didn't matter if he played what was considered walker music or R&B, like you were saying, because you knew what to do to that music because you knew the music. We don't get that heavy into the music anymore like that. So I think there's a loss in translation when it comes to that. And so therefore, as DJs, because we got so many people who have not been taught the culture and the history and understand what they're doing, that you get people from out of town in Chicago, you get people that are out of town because we're out of town, and you have to say these things so that they catch on, like, oh, okay. This was next. Okay, so this is what we're supposed to be doing now. They don't know that's what they're supposed to be doing by nature, like you would know.
Yeah, because I ain't got no problem with that part of that. I understand that. But the problem is when they hit the floor, people don't, everything is going on.
Yeah, that's true.
We used to have a real flow to the dance. We looked like a carousel going around the room, counterclockwise. Today, there may be somebody going the other way. There may be somebody stepping. Oh, it's a mess. It's a complete mess. But the worst thing is, here's a bigger problem. The DJ will play a record, right? A great walk record. Floor is packed. His next record, the floor is empty.
Hmm.
But he plays the third because they kind of, I guess they dedicated to playing maybe 3 or 4 a night. So he'll play a third record. The floor is packed again. So what does that tell you about that second record?
Mm-hmm.
The DJ don't know the music. The people don't know
That
the
wasn't the
music.
one.
But check this out. It wasn't the one. Remember, we got single step and we got the skip.
Okay.
So if it's not a record that you skip to, guess what? It's a record that you single step walk to. Now nobody knows that. Nobody teaches that because they didn't come down this trail like I did.
Right.
That is the problem. So
Well,
the DJ will say, well, damn, why did DJ play that?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
Well, a couple of things. I mean, we have, while you are accurate in terms of the DJ thing, because to be honest with you, you know, I'm a fairly new DJ. I've been doing it about 5 or 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And even I, in my fortunate position to have to be able to recognize certain music from my era,
Mm-hmm.
even I can admit and say that I don't know when it comes to that what it was required like say for example, I was DJing a set with people your age and your peer group.
Well,
I would struggle with that. Somebody would have to pull my coat, say, hey man, this is what you need to be doing next. You feel what I'm saying? Because
and that's great. I like that.
well, it's part of understanding and learning. Andrew Antonio Allen, AAA in the building. Keith the Navigator Hubbard in the building. How y'all doing? Thank you for coming through. Tim Ellington, I see you. My man David Calhoun, what's happening? So the thing is, you talk about the dance floor, right?
Right.
Another one of the issues that we're running into these days with our dance, due to the outside influence of individuals who insist upon doing it their way. We have a lot of people that are wanting to and making every attempt to add other dance genres into the Steppin community. I always struggle with this because my thinking is that if you are so in love with these other dances, why are you coming to be a part of this dance? If y'all's communities were where they're supposed to be or doing whatever y'all supposed to do, then you should be over there doing what they do. And their dance floor should have a certain level of organization based on the way that they dance, the same way ours used to. But now, like you said, because I can remember a time, if you could watch, you could be sitting somewhere and look at the dance floor and it had a certain rhythm to it. It had a pattern. You know, it was almost like a vibration, like a wavelength. You don't see that anymore.
Absolutely. That's right.
Everybody is all over the damn place, like you just said. And so when it comes to walking, you definitely lose that. And it really got to a point where I don't know if it was done out of fun or the DJ just adding some flavor or what it was, but it got to a point where people started, like you said, to announce walkers on the outside, steppers on the inside, which you shouldn't have to tell people that. You see these people coming around the floor, get out of the way. I mean, that would be common sense, but again, a lot lost in translation.
Absolutely.
You know,
See,
and lack of education. They ain't being taught. Go ahead.
Listen, in my era,
Mm-hmm.
they play a walk record. You either walked or sat down.
Nah.
You didn't have they didn't leave you another option.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't no steppers on the inside.
Right. And so the DJ didn't have to deal with that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So the DJ kept control of the dance floor, just like you go roller skating.
Right.
Who controls the dance floor? The DJ.
Absolutely.
The dance floor used to mirror the skating rink as far as control. That don't happen no more. Simply because the DJ don't want no problem with somebody who paid to get in.
You already know. Oh,
Absolutely.
look, here's my
I've been
son
a DJ.
chiming in. Mr.
No.
Tanner Forbes, how you doing, sir? He coming in. My son jumped in talking about the music is the foundation. Yeah. See,
Absolutely.
he been hanging around me a long time.
You learn very well. Without the foundation, listen, without foundation, the dance don't exist. I don't care
That's
what
it.
dance it is.
Period, point blank. That's it. Without that, we got nothing.
We got nothing.
So, so from that understanding of where the floor should be, what are your thoughts on where we are and where we're headed? You know, you said something to me earlier. We talked about the youth in the dance. I'd like for you to expound on that and give the audience some idea of what your thoughts are in terms of what it's going to look like for our survival, if you will.
Well, I can say this. I think it's going to be tough because, like I said, we didn't have an option coming up. It was either R&B, jazz, rock, or blues. That was it. Once hip hop, rap, house, and all these things hit, the teenagers got another option.
They split up, went in different
But
directions.
they left. Basically, they left. The ones that had a different type of swag,
Yeah.
they went our way, which
Yeah.
wasn't many. And that's what
Facts.
didn't happen. That's what has happened.
And that is true because I know guys who literally were steppers when house music hit. A lot of
Yeah.
cats went left.
That's right.
I remember that. Yeah.
And as far as the future, without adding fuel to the fire, which is the young people, it's going to fade. I see it fading.
Yeah. And I fear that you're absolutely correct. And I personally have had my thoughts about that in recent years. And I'm watching the newer generation of people that are coming into the dance. And amazingly enough, most of the young people that are coming into the dance,
Yeah,
almost none of them are from Chicago.
I agree.
That's the crazy part.
I absolutely agree. And that's a
Yeah.
problem.
That's something.
But you know what?
That's
I
something.
take that back. It's not a problem. It's not a problem.
Mhm.
Because the way I look at this thing, Chicago was the Mecca. We didn't went from the Mecca to a mess.
Wow. Yeah. Well, let me ask
we
you
need,
this.
we need help.
I was going to say, in that regard, do you see any, is there a formula that we may be able to follow or move in the direction of in terms of being the elder generation of the dance for those who are willing? Is there something that can be done or something that we need to do in order to advance that cause to attract more of the younger people to the dance that would want to be here and stay?
Now, that's a tough question because what's lost out of the dance when you're a teenager like we were is the passion part.
Mm-hmm.
Passion is
Yeah,
gone.
yeah, that's gone.
And I don't see you instilling passion in the people once they get a certain age. Either you got it or you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
See, we wanted to do this. We wanted to do this. We
Yeah.
wanted to hook up with
It was the activity. It was the thing to do.
Well, we wanted
As
to hook up
kids.
with girls. That was the thing to do.
Right. As
Hook up with
kids.
the ladies, right?
So,
And-
yeah.
So I think we got a big problem.
I'm still, look, Dennis, Pastor D said from Mecca to mess. Word.
Absolutely.
that was a mouthful right there, bro.
It sure was. And it's serious talk.
That was a mouthful. In terms of the way we're doing things with contests and competitions these days, what are your thoughts on that?
First of all, I think the contest is part of the problem because you got dances taking place. You got judges judging that don't even know what the hell
They looking at.
the dance is. They may, you know what I mean? They don't know that. Then at the outcome of some of these contests, when you got people deviating too far away from the original dance and still calling it that dance, that's the problem. It'll turn in. It's entertainment and not dancing. Let me put it that way.
I've suggested on many occasions that I think we've reached an inflection point in this community where what we're seeing now probably should not even be called stepping anymore. It's something else, and I hesitate to let the words come out of my mouth, but I'm not gonna lie, I am just about over this other stuff. Whatever this other stuff is, they want to bring salsa and two-step and swing out and add all of these different elements into what is stepping. It's no longer stepping. I don't know what this is, and don't get me wrong, I ain't knocking nobody. I ain't got no heaven or hell to put nobody in. Do what you do. If that's what
That's
floats your boat, do that.
Yeah, create your own thing.
Leave this where it is. You know what I'm saying? Let this be what this is. The same way we had to identify the fact that we had the bop and then the new bop. And although the new bop was the reason for stepping, we get that. So whatever they decide to call this thing over here, they can say that it is whatever the same way we came off the new bop to stepping, we came off stepping to whatever they need to start calling this.
Let me just say this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say this. The word bop is like saying car or truck.
Right. What kind?
Without, you know what I'm saying? Without saying that it's a Chevy.
What's the make or model?
In other words, it's a general term.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hear people always say, oh, they bopping. Well, guess what, player? Bopping is a general term to identify Chicago's version of swing dancing.
Okay.
Swing dancing is what we do.
Right.
Bopping is the original name. It's a general term. It ain't like I'm next to you doing something you ain't doing. You just calling it stepping. It's the same thing, Chicago swing.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my pet peeves. I went to a place to teach a walk class, and the guy who got me there was saying he was dancing with somebody trying to teach me how to dance, and they was bopping. I said to myself, what the hell is you talking about? Bopping is Chicago's version of swing. And people don't understand this. Listen, the original bop was called freestyle. Today, they call that same bop the get down. The music changed along the bebop jazz. And so the name of the bop changed to the gangsta bop. Music changed again, mid-50s, mid-60s. And guess what? The bop was called the slow bop or off-time slow bop. People ain't understanding. Bop is either one of these. So when you say you're bopping, just tell me which one you're doing.
There you go.
Because people don't know the difference.
Well,
they just simply say you bopping, I'm stepping.
To coin the phrase from Daryl Davis, same dance, many variations.
Absolutely.
And that probably is the most powerful statement that describes what we do that I've heard.
The most correct.
And the most accurate, absolutely. Claudel Jackson, what's going on, my man? Thank you for coming through. I see you. Tina Israel, I see you. How are you, sweetie? Netta Mo Better out of Cali, I see you. Janelle Booker, how you doing? Kathy Barnes in the building. Sheila White, what's going on, girl? DJ Marcus Alonzo. Now, DJ Marcus wanted to know, when we were talking about the bop and the dance floor, he was asking, is what's happening with the confusion on the dance floor because of the tempo of the track?
No. Okay. It's because the students don't understand the dance or the music. When you don't come through those eras and get it like that,
right?
And 50 years later, you take a stepping class, you're not going to know anything about what was behind you. It's just that simple. They don't know.
Yeah.
And the DJ is just playing. Listen, let me give you an example. I was at a set, and the DJ played one of the coldest walk records ever. It was by the Dales. Oh, What a Night by the Dales. You familiar with that one, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Half the crowd was stepping to it. Can you imagine that?
Well, you know what they say, if you don't know, you don't know what you gonna do with that. You know what I mean?
Imagine that. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So Sandra Davis, yes, his hat does say certified walkaholic. Yes.
Absolutely. hey, Sandra, let me explain something to you. Back in the early 60s, this was my hat. Big Apple.
That apple.
That's the way we dressed coming up as kids.
Yes, sir. That apple hat. Don't play no game.
There you go.
That's some Chicago. Look, man, that's one of the things that's another thing that's been lost. You know, the like you said in the very beginning of this interview, it was about the dress code.
Absolutely.
You know? And we have lost that, man. I'm talking about if people understood the way Chicago culture has been for decades, and it's really gotten really watered down. Still, there's some guys there that you can still see that keep their stuff together. But man, listen,
most of them are old school.
Yes, they are. Man, we didn't come out the house without no clothes on, bruh.
That's right.
Period. Just didn't do it.
I call them old school disciples.
Man,
they learned from the previous generation.
Man,
Right.
You didn't come out the house without no, and you mess around, you be out with your homies or whatever, and you be ready, man. Y'all get ready, man. Let's stop up in the spot right quick. You
That's
wasn't
right.
going in there with no jeans, no gym shoes, no baseball hat. You're not getting in, bruh. Don't come in there with no t-shirt.
That's right.
You're not getting in. Matter of fact, the dude at the door gonna be looking at you like, I know you didn't just show up at my spot looking like that. I know you didn't.
Right.
I got to give a shout out to a couple of like Chicken Wing, man, down in Atlanta. You ain't coming to Chicken Wing set unless you got some clothes on. I got one of the guys over in Houston.
He's from Chicago.
Yeah, yes, sir. One of the guys over in Houston, Ken Holden. I never forget one night he was doing some nice sets over in Houston some years ago, and I never forget one night a dude came over there to the set. We was and I think he had on, I don't know if he had on a t-shirt or something. Ken said, "Hey man, why you come to my set looking like that?" I said, "Kid." He said, "No, man. He know better than that. You don't come to my party dressed like that." He said, "Look here, man. Go home and put on a shirt, and I'll let you back in." This was not too long ago. And I started laughing. I was thinking, that's the way it's supposed to be. I mean, real talk, man.
Hey, listen. Let me tell you this. Let me just say this. They got people that promote sets right here in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see them, they got on gym shoes, jeans, that sort of thing. And I got used to telling them, don't hand me a plugger.
Man.
I'm never coming to your set. We got people that come out that can't dance that are promoting Steppin sets. I don't go to their sets.
Bruh. We got people doing stuff around this community.
It's jacked up.
They causing more problems than they doing work.
Yeah, yo.
They don't know where the bodies is buried. They don't know the lay of the land and got all the answers and got every damn thing to say. And it's always the ones that's the loudest that's the most wrong.
Right.
And it's getting real old. It is for me. I don't know about nobody else. I continue to do this show because there are too many people. There are far too many people who benefit from the knowledge and people like yourself that we have on here. And so therefore it keeps the wind beneath my wings because I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
Yeah.
Man, look, it's getting rough out here. And everywhere you look, it's nothing but trash. Ain't nothing but people bringing trash to this community. They bring they messed up lives and they confusion and they need for attention and money and just anything you could think of other than the dance. And I'm going to say this, I've been saying, I'm going to say it again. Y'all want to be popular, you want to be important in this dance, learn to dance.
Right.
That'll get you everything you want. All that other stuff, man, go on with that. Beat it.
Right.
So do you do any traveling these days with your instruction or any of that? Because by the way, let me just shout out because the producer lady had nothing but praises for you. She took your walking class at the homecoming last year and loved every minute of it and had just continuously talked about it. So let me give you a shout out there. So what does it look like if somebody wanted to have you in their city to do?
I had some bad experiences with that. Let me tell you what happened to me.
Uh-oh.
No, it ain't that serious. But I taught the last couple of classes I taught out of town.
Mm-hmm.
The promoters that got me there didn't take the class. Now I got a problem with that if you can't walk, but you get me somewhere to teach a class and you can't even walk, and you're promoting your set as stepping, walking, and line dancing. I got a problem with that. So I really don't like to go nowhere because I don't like wasting my time.
I know that's right. Got you.
And that didn't happen a couple of times.
Well, I can dig it. Dr. Butterfly in the building, I see you. Dan Land Pro, what's going on, my man? Dan Land, I need to holler at you, sir. We need to chop it up. Okay, so if somebody wanted to have an opportunity to touch hands with you and learn from you, what would that is that a thing? Is that something that you would make available to people?
The only way I would do a piece of
You're
class
like,
is if I got, no, for real. If I got enough people here and we rented a joint, but I'm not going to start a class again. I had a class for 30 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 years. And most of my students were from out of town, even then. Walking is a lost art in the city of Chicago.
Absolutely.
If you
Even
play
in the city.
right, if
Yeah.
you play two walk records a night, why would anybody even want to learn it?
And that's true. That is true.
But here's the bigger kicker: me and my wife would like to go out of town, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we both retired. We ain't got nothing better to do.
Right.
But here's the thing: most of the DJs that we see out of town are from Chicago. And if they play two walk records in Chicago, damn, how many they gonna play when we leave?
Yeah, that's true.
Got a problem with that. I can if I want to hear the music I like, I gotta stay at home.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the same way when it comes to the dance itself, because you know, it's funny when we talk about the walking, especially out of town even. I have been guilty myself of not playing what I would consider enough walk music, but it had more to do with me playing to the crowd, because there are places you can put on walk music and you literally got two people on the floor. Like, you know, so it because again, there it's a lost art. It's one of those things where you have people who see it and they like it and they want to do it. We had a young lady here in San Antonio that literally, when I tell you that woman fell in love with walking, my girl Barbie Dow said, I want to do that. I want to do that.
You know, first of all, it's got to be taught right.
Absolutely.
The foundation has to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
Then the evolution between the foundation and the next step has to be taught. Because if you don't get that, you'll never understand the music itself.
Right.
They go together. And once you get that, those two, plus the music, walking won't look like what you see on most of the YouTube.
Right. But now, let me add this.
Yeah.
And this is a strange caveat, but it's also an issue.
Mm-hmm.
See, now we're going back to the music thing, right? A lot of the good walking music, like what you were describing earlier, is music that people no longer identify with. See, because music is the soundtrack of our life, and this newer generation, they don't have anything to identify that walking to. So therefore, if you play some of that music now with the attitudes that we run across and some of the people that, well, we don't want to hear that old music, and they feel like they're in a party with old people, so then they disconnect themselves from it. So now there's another loss. There's just yet one more thing, one more pinprick in the bubble, you know. So it disconnects everything. So it's just.
But let me say this: walking ain't about old music.
Right. No, I agree. But
Walking
this is what happens.
Walking is about understanding the groove.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you a cut. I've never heard it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's by one of the newer artists. It's by Slick J. Adams. It's called Change My Way. It's a cold walk cut.
Yep.
I've given it to people, but they don't know to play it. They play the same one or two records every time I go out. I already know what I'm going to hear.
I'm writing that down. Make sure I got it in my library. I'm sure I know I got it.
I've given most DJs here a flash drive with 400-500 walk cuts. I passed out 100 flash drives at the homecoming with walk music on them. But when you get to the set, those same DJs, they play the same one or two records. It's like they didn't listen to the rest. If I give it to you, guess what? You can close your eyes and play one.
So you just hit the button.
I know what I'm giving you. And see, that's the problem. That don't happen here. So they're killing the dance. And it starts with the promoters. It starts with the promoters. It ain't the DJs. It starts with the promoters. They have to know how to do these dances themselves instead of out just hustling people. It's that
word. Word. You feel me? Yeah. Keith Hubbard say, at least learn the music from where the dance came from. Absolutely.
That's right.
Let's see. Kathy Barnes, how you doing? I see you. Val Wells in the building. I got to make sure I hit all my folks.
Sure.
Utuburn Now 1, I see you. She says she used to have that Jackson 5 Apple hat. There you go. Karen Foster says, Mr. Finley, you are definitely Gouster. I was a female Gouster, pencil skirt, sweater, jet black holes, and ballet flats. We
You know
would
the
fly.
deal. I'm straight up a Gloucester. Hey, I'm not a Gloucester today. I'm straight continental. But back in high school days, I was straight Gloucester. Triple pleats, zip decks, you name it.
That's what's up. Now, David Calhoun said he watched the video from the 50 this weekend. He said they did some mean walking, classic walking music too.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
got to take Pats now.
Got to switch them up. Wow, bam, there it is.
1967,
Yes,
drafted.
sir. Yeah, man, that was a hell of a time right there.
Uh-huh. So
Yep.
we had to grow up. And so when I
Grow
was
up fast.
we grew up fast.
Yeah, my pops was over there, so
Yeah.
I get it for real,
He went
for
to the
real.
war. He went to the war.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
He did 3 tours voluntarily.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah,
1970.
yep.
So I'm the real deal in a lot of areas. Trust me.
How that old saying go? All gave some gave all.
There you go. This ain't
some-
make believe. This
And
is
some of
real.
them did. Some of them, even though they made it back physically, some of them never made it back. Believe that.
Right.
And I
That's
know
right.
that to be a fact.
Right.
So, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna tell you, thank you for your service, brother. For
You're so
real, for real.
Yeah.
Because it meant something, you know. April Grant, how are you? Let's see. April Grant said Gloucester. Now that's what's up. West Side.
That's right.
She
You're
said
right.
West Side.
Crane High School, 1966.
My man. Jerry Palmer in the building. King of Swing is in the house. He says, thank you for your service, Jerry Palmer. We also thank you because we know you're a veteran as well.
Right.
Yes, sir. So look, what are you, because we're getting ready we're going to close it out. And I would like for you to give my audience some of your thoughts in regard to where we are in the dance, anything that you might want to say candidly. Would be a good time for you to give your thoughts about where we are in the community, what you'd like to see, what your hopes are, what your thoughts are about anything and anybody for that matter. Because I personally, I enjoy talking to you. I've always, I like being able to glean as much information as I can from a person like yourself. Because I don't know if many of you weren't on the line when we first started the show, but I just played a song, and it's called "Time Is Too Precious." The video will be dropping soon, but it absolutely talks about the ancestors in this community who have gone on, and the fact that we are all on borrowed time, and it is important for us to get the information while the people that are here that absolutely are still around can give it to us, instead of us guessing later on and trying to figure things out and put 2 and 2 together. The reason for this show and things like it are because we archive this information and we make it available for the future generations of those who intend to continue this journey that we're all on with this dance. You got the floor, sir. Give it to them.
Let me just say this. My preference has always been for walking, because we started walking as kids to get up close and personal with the ladies. And so what I would like to see, and what I was hoping to see during the homecoming back in August, when they asked me to teach a walk class, I thought what they were going to do is have one walk class and not 3-4 different walk classes teaching what's supposed to be the same thing. Now, I had a problem with that. So from my standpoint, it would have been an opportunity to get all the instructors together and get them on the same page. I don't see that happening ever. Now, simply because you want to hustle them people, they want to get paid over there. I'm not into none of that. I teach this class for free because you know what? This class got nothing to do with my pocket. It's in my heart.
Same thing with Inside Steppin', baby. I get it.
Right.
I promise I get it.
So the best thing I could hope for is we somehow have a instructor get together, led by somebody that knows what the hell they're talking about, and you're looking at him right here. That's my thought.
Woof. Well, all I can say is it's so much to say about all of that, and I hope that somewhere in the Steppers Disneyland, something like that, has an opportunity to come to pass, what I would really what I would really enjoy would be, and this is absolutely some Disneyland shit. What I would really enjoy would be a time where all of the, and I say legitimate instructors because ain't nobody on no organized paper, but I would like to say that I would love to see all of the legitimate instructors who actually have some skin in the game to be able to come under one roof, into one space, leave their egos at the door, learn from one another, be able to agree to disagree on some things, but in the process, find a common ground, a common method or practice, a standard operating procedure for all to walk behind in regard to teaching the dance, and not only the steps, but the culture and the history, to make sure that the people moving forward can do this dance the way it was intended and convey it on to the next generation without worry of it becoming a watered down version or some garbage that people who actually are the foundation, like yourself, of these dances can be proud of. But like you just said,
Yeah. Yep.
you know, yeah, it would be. I don't see it.
Let me just say let me say one other thing.
Mhm.
We are at the point where we got bulging discs, bad backs, knees, hips. We at that point, and it don't happen because you my age. It don't happen because you 70. You could be 50. I ran a gym playing basketball for 33 straight years, 3 days a week. Wrecked both knees, had 2 knee replacements. It's you don't have to you don't have to do that. You don't have to play ball to get where I'm at. So when I get to a set, I'm not into speeding 30 records in a row.
Yeah,
I'm not into
you want to
stepping.
slow down.
Right. Slow the pace. Because music wasn't played like that when I come along this trail.
Mm-hmm.
They play 4 walk records, 4 stepping cuts, and they do that all night.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we was too cool. That's when I put on my last hat.
Bam, there it is. Well, then that's when you talk about the coolness of it all. See, that's one of the things that absolutely has been lost. We had swag, man.
That's right.
I mean, if you didn't have no swag about yourself, man, if you didn't have no game about yourself, that you just wasn't gonna get you wasn't gonna fly around here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I feel some kind of way. I'm glad to see some of the men who have come into the community, and some of them have really lost their minds when they got here too, because they never had access to women like that before. They learned a couple of steps and it freaked out and became something else. But
Right.
I miss the days of a room full of men who were dressed, who
Sharp.
came in there with their shoes shine. I'm talking about, man,
Right.
slacks, hitting
Right.
them shoes just right. Especially, man, fall was my favorite time of the year.
Yeah.
Because, man, I'm talking about that's when I dressed. That was always my favorite time of year, because you could put on your fly sweaters. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying?
Right.
Man, look. So it's like now it's almost like a disappointment. You see guys, they come in, man, and blue jeans hanging off their ass and pair of gym shoes. Come on, man. Y'all
Hey.
just
It makes you wonder what they teaching the kids. I mean,
if
you look
anything.
like that, what your kids look like. That's
Yeah.
I mean, crazy. Somebody got to pass on good qualities.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I think the cattle have left the ranch already, but that's just me. So, listen, Buford, Mr. Finley, I so much appreciate
Yeah.
having you on this show this evening, man. It's our time. If I would like to extend an invitation to you to return sometime in the future so that we may continue having these conversations. And of course, there will always be something coming up next. And, you know, I'm always interested in the opinions of those who have license to make commentary about particular issues in our community. We got a lot of people talking in this community and they don't know what they're talking about or have really any license to be saying anything, but they say it anyway because social media has provided idiots with platforms to talk. And there are, unfortunately, even bigger idiots that follow them. So there's that.
Let me just say one other thing before I go. I feel like that kid that sits in the back of the classroom while the teacher is asking everybody questions, but they ask kids in the front row, keep getting bad answers. Then they ask the kid in the back the questions, and they come up with the right answer. So I feel like that's what happened to me here tonight. You finally got the right guy.
Well, I absolutely believe that, and that's why I asked for you to be here. So I appreciate the information, sir, and my audience has thoroughly enjoyed you, and I'm sure you'll be getting some hits on your Facebook and a few other places too. So they'll be blowing your phone up like, man, we want to learn. We're trying to get with you, you know. So, Mr. Finley, thank you. I want you to have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I look forward to the next time we have an opportunity to speak in person.
Sound like a plan.
All right,
Good night,
man.
everybody.
You have a great night.
You also.
Peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, Mr. Buford Finley, a living legend, one who literally knows where the bodies are buried, one who's been in this game as long as walking has been a thing. I am honored to have been able to have him. And like always, it is important for us to continue to archive and catalog the information as much as possible and make sure that those moving forward, you know, and here's the thing, y'all. What I'm really trying to do here is plant seeds, because there are a lot of people who are hell bent on doing whatever they want to do. And like anything else in the world, including our current government and things that are going on, when chaos ensues, you're going to lose. It's only a matter of time before disorganization kills whatever it is that you're working on or whatever it is that you're trying to do. You can't do anything without organization, without knowledge. We are at a place in this dance where things have become so chaotic. And I know some of you think, oh, no, it's not. But that's because you're not aware. Things have become so chaotic in this community until the way the dance floor looks, like Mr. Finley just said, the dance floor today looks a mess. It looks a mess because people refuse to adhere to the simple, basic etiquette and rules of what this dance was and should always be. You have people out here who get into this, well, everything evolves. It's got to evolve. No, it doesn't have to evolve. Steppin doesn't need none of y'all. Steppin don't care about any of you or me. Steppin is going to be steppin when y'all are still out here spinning around 50,000 times and doing everything else under the sun except the actual steppin. The dance is not going to change. It's not going to evolve. What y'all choose to do might evolve, and what y'all choose to call it will evolve, but steppin will always be steppin. Get that through your head. Now, because the masses in the community have decided to move into whatever different directions they are moving into, that's all well and good. But the steps that are taken from walking, and as he explained, 1-2 step walk, skip, bop, new bop, Gauster bop, whichever form of the bop, into stepping, new school, freestyle, there's a format there. And again, in the words of Daryl Davis, same dance, many variations. That will never change. Now, you can add whatever you want. You can try and throw some salsa moves in there, some swing out, 2-step, whatever you want to throw in there. You can do that all you want. It's not going to change Steppin. The only thing that's going to change are the people, the attitudes, and whatever else that is that y'all call that other stuff. And that's fine. I personally don't care what you do. Just don't call it Steppin. That's my point. I want to see this dance advance and move into other directions. Become stronger, faster, better, smarter, like a child. But I want to make it clear. Salsa hasn't evolved. Merengue, bachata, I can go on all day. I can name all of the dances. They haven't evolved. Why should Steppin evolve? Steppin's going to be Steppin. Those dances are going to be those dances. They're not going to change because the people think for some reason that they're going to add something different to it. No, you're not. The difference between those dances and this one is that they have organizations. They have structure. They are set up a certain way. We are not. If you think that this thing can't fall off the face of the earth, I got news for you. Y'all better get it together. These parties out here getting lighter and lighter, and people are tired of all of the extra shit that people are bringing into this community that have nothing to do with this dance. Whole lot of folks. I tell you what, every time I turn around, I run across more people who are staying away from Steppin, not because of the dance, but because of the toxic energy and toxic people, most of the time from somewhere other than where it came from, not from Chicago, because they want to be seen destroying everything, killing it, dead. One thing for sure, though, in Chicago, they're going to keep dancing. They're going to keep stepping. And you're not going to hear nobody talking about evolution. You're not going to hear nobody talking about all this extra BS that people want to inject into it. They're going to step. They're going to have a good time. They're going to go home. The rest of y'all need to take a note from that. Or, like I said again, you can give whatever y'all doing, you can give it another name. We're not going to, well, I promise you we ain't going to miss you. I promise you. I'm not going to miss you. Love you to death. But that ain't what I'm into. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I want to thank Mr. Finley for taking the time to come through. I am excited that I was able to get him to come in and speak to you guys and give us some insight, give me some insight about some times and some things that I didn't know anything about. Thank you for that. I want to thank y'all for coming through because y'all always come through, and I love it, and I'm happy to be able to serve because that's what we do here. Hey, Susu, I see you, my dear. Kathy Barnes. Let's see. Am I missing anybody? Did I miss somebody? I don't think I did. Jackie Ballard, how you doing, doll? All right, so that's it, y'all. It's been a wonderful show. Thank you so much. Calvin. Claudel Jackson, sir. I'll be reaching out to you. I'd like to have you up next. Have yourselves a wonderful week. Enjoy everything about your life because, man, let me tell you something. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and peace is the order of the day. Don't forget to tune in After Dark, Popping with Poppy. We're going to be having that show. I'm going to be a special guest tonight, y'all. We are going to be talking about friends and what friendship looks like. Tune in. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful evening. We got to go. We got to get up out of here. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to play a little bit of this while I'm closing out. I'm going to play a little bit of this song as we go out, so you guys can hear some of what I was talking about earlier. Where's my thing? All right, y'all. We out of here. Have yourselves a wonderful night.
Time is the one thing we can't step around.
Time is too precious, y'all.
Father Time is undefeated.
Time is too precious. Don't let it slip away. Respect the foundation and the price they had to pay. Stop wasting your minutes on the wrong of things. Just enjoy the dance and the joy that it brings. Respect the culture. Keep the legacy high. Give them their roses before they say goodbye.
The wood feels heavier each time a legend moves on. The sets don't sound the same when the architects are gone. We lost many greats with the original spark. The ones who lit the way when the culture was dark. They gave us the dance and the city was blessed. They gave us the rhythm, they gave us the best. The East is quiet, the 50 is changed, but the dance they left us will remain the same. Every pivot, every slide, every soulful connection is a gift from a pioneer reaching for perfection. They're dancing in the spirit now, watching the floor, hoping we don't lose the heart of what it was created for.
Time is too precious, don't let it slip away. Respect the foundation and the price they had to pay. Stop wasting your minutes on the wrong kind of things. Just enjoy the dance and the joy that it brings. Respect the culture, keep the legacy high. Give them their roses before they say goodbye. Before they say goodbye.
Now look at all the elders who are still on this side, with silver in their hair and the wisdom of time. They got more years behind them than they do in the front. So respect the game, if I may be blunt.
They're the walking libraries, the keepers of the flame. Treat them with honor when you mention the name. If you're new to the wood, if you just join the set, don't walk in entitled like we're in your debt. Listen to the stories, watch the way they move. There's a secret in the silence of a pioneer's groove. They won't be here forever to correct your stride. So swallow your ego, and put down your pride.
Time is too precious, don't let it slip away. Respect the foundation and the price they had to pay. Stop wasting your minutes on the wrong kind of thing. Just enjoy the dance and the joy that it brings. Respect the culture, keep the legacy high. Give them their roses before they say goodbye. Before they say goodbye.
If you didn't build a house, you just walk through the door. Take off your hat when you step on the floor. Stop trying to update what's already been done. Just be grateful you're standing in the Chicago sun. Don't waste your time trying to steal the design. Just learn to dance and hold the line. The clock is ticking for the kings and the queens who showed us exactly what Steppin really
Friends,
been.
don't let it slip away. Respect the foundation and the price they had to pay. Stop wasting your minutes on the wrong kind of thing. Just enjoy the dance and the joy that it brings. Respect the culture, keep the legacy high. Give them their roses before they say goodbye. Before they say goodbye.
Respect is a currency that never loses worth, especially for the ones who gave this dance its birth. You're wasting the sunset, chasing the wind, while the original masters are beginning to run thin. You're fighting by status while the culture is bleeding, when it's the love and the legacy that we're